It moved.
Believe it or not, even though I do announcements every week, I still get nervous talking to you guys. But this summer, I was given the great opportunity and blessing to actually prep and serve in the country we call Kenya. And there's a lot of great things that I like to share, but Kenya is a very beautiful country. For those who haven't had the opportunity to go to Africa, it's very different than, I guess, the United States or Asia in that a lot of people think it's like 200 degrees, but actually the weather was really cold there. Most of the time, it was around like 70-ish, and it rained multiple times in the day. Kenya is a beautiful country because there are a lot of things that I guess contribute to the overall beauty of it. It takes almost a full day of airtime flying to get there. We took, I don't know how many airplanes, we had like a couple of layovers and long car rides, but it almost takes a full day of airtime to get there. And like I mentioned, the weather is super cold. Kenya has no roads, so you drive basically on dirt roads. And there's no street lights, and because of that, people walk in the like pitch dark. And Kenya has almost, or basically none, traffic laws, so people cut you off, they drive on the they drive on the opposite side of the road, so it's not like the US where you drive on the left-hand side. Kenyans don't have Wi-Fi, they don't have internet, or like smartphones, which means you don't have Facebook at the tip of your fingertips. They don't have electricity, they don't have toilets. So I'm sure most of you guys have never had the experience of having to, I guess, like squat down and do your business, but that's how most of the Kenyan people live. Houses they live in are made of clay and cow dung. So the business, like how they take care of it is they put a wood frame, and then they put clay, and then they put the poop, and then the clay, and they just dry it, and the process goes on and on and on for a few months until you basically have like a really solid like taktakan house, which you call your home. And if you're rich enough, you get one light bulb in the main living room, and that's your source of electricity. Churches don't have enough funding to put up the walls or roofing, and they don't have much funding to either have a church vehicle. We're blessed enough to have multiple vans, but they have one van that's been going around for many years, so they don't have enough funding for that. And because of that, many people walk miles and miles to get from point A to point B, and they even walk that much to get to church. But those are the positives that I mentioned, but some of the negatives include having cows as pets, because if you have like a large animal, you have a lot of, I guess, like poop in your backyard. It's hard for you to walk around without stepping in it. Roosters crow at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and you can't put a snooze button on that. As well as like mules or goats they use for, I guess, transporting their stuff. And they occasionally wake you up too because they just kind of like meh, or like, I don't know what they do in the middle of the morning. But notice how we consider all the things that, we consider a setback. I said attributes toward the beauty of Kenya. And as I observed and soaked in all these things, I began to realize how different we are compared to the people there. Some of the common things that we complain about, not having Wi-Fi, having to wake up at 11 to come to church by 11:20 to maybe have like an hour and a half of service, cold showers, but being there for 2 weeks, I realized that all of those things actually distract us. People there collect rainwater despite having the risk of getting typhoid or yellow fever. But no one seems to complain. We didn't hear anyone complain or ever, I guess, talk about it, because that's just the way they live. And the level of devotion to God with the Kenyans were on a different level. Something that very humbled me, and something that pushed me back a lot. But I often find myself thanking God when a fortunate series of events turn kind of toward my way, or I benefit somehow. But God isn't a genie or a fairy where we go give thanks to Him when something good happens. But our God is a God who is to be worshipped thousands of miles across the world in an area where there is no electricity or roads, or even bathrooms. And our God is a God who unites us with them to do His will. So I just want to say, why are we so hesitant to spread the word of God when we have a praise band where we can worship every Sunday, when we have technologies like speaker and projector, and when we have podcasts to listen to messages whenever we want, when we have social media access 24 hours, 7 days a week, and when we have cars to even make it to church, when we have the money to eat and fellowship, and we have so many resources at the tip of our fingertips. The churches in Kenya actually pray and pray that they would even just have a few of these things that I mentioned. So why are we so hesitant to spread the word of God? Going to foreign countries with the resources we have, providing services like hosting VBS, and of course means a lot to the people there. The pastors and all the teachers there were constantly reminding us that we've permanently made an impact to these kids' lives when we do VBS every single year with our kids, and we just think it's a burden to be asked, or it's just 3 days of our spring break gone. But we often forget that the work of God is eternal, and that whatever we did for the short 3 days that we had was a big impact that these kids will never forget. And so we try so hard to make churches better in other nations, but why not make the same effort in the church that we are attending now at NLBC? We prep, we practice, devote ourselves month after month only to forget that we worship the same God every church at Sunday. We have an infinite number of resources and people, so why don't we devote ourselves to God instead of maybe Wi-Fi or Snapchat or our friends? And I want the people of church from other nations, if they ever come to maybe visit our church or have mission work in our church, to say that, no, wow, this is the kind of church I want to recreate back at home. And where everyone is so united, everyone is so passionate, everyone is so devoted to God. We have electricity, we have roads, we have cars, we have a church building, and we're actually constructing one right now. It'll be so amazing. We have so much time. We are so youthful, and most importantly, we have God. So I just want to end by saying that I want all of us to just make an active effort in putting God first in our lives. Take out all the unnecessary stuff that clutter us, that are daily blessings, that make our lives extravagant, not hinder us and push us away from God, but bless us in doing His will and helping those around us. And if you catch yourself straying askew, just remember that there are a lot of people in countries like Kenya where they rejoice in all that they have and all that God does and all that God provides for them. Thank you.